Ladies and gentlemen, the World Team Cup is coming to an end. The grand final is underway, and we have the Dutch team that came all the way from the winner bracket. They have won every single match of theirs, and now they're here, and they want to fight for the victory in this competition in TrackMania² Stadium in the Czech style. And the team that is going to be opposing the team that has just managed to qualify themselves for the grand final is going to be the fused team with Czech Republic and Slovakia. The team around the two Sampi players, Kappa and Tween, 2018 world champion and a runner-up champion, are going to be playing in this one as well. So we have a really high quality match here coming up, and I am super hyped to actually see who's going to take the crown right here. Both of these teams have what it takes. I think all players are well prepared, highly motivated, and fully pumped of adrenaline to take home the victory and to fight in some incredibly spicy rounds. Our first map is going to be WTC Head Up by Tom. It's going to be our first map, and we have Tween, Danik B, and Kappa for the blue team against Wagentje, however you want to call him, Dutchy, and Zykos. So Zykos, actually, fun fact, actually driving with his own name, because in the previous matches he always had like a different name. But now we have Wagentje with the first mistake. Zykos leading in front of Danik B, so a little of a wonky beginning here for the players, but other than that, it looks really good here already. Zykos having quite a decent pace here already. Tween now trying to go for an overtake on Dutchy in this right-hand corner. Really risky on that inside. He already did that in the previous match. Zykos going out a little too wide, got a little of air, and now we're coming down to the last turn. Who's going to take that first place? It's going to be an important decision. It is Tween that wins with a .34. Zykos on second, Kappa on third, followed by Dutchy, Danik B, and the last player to reach the finish line is Wagentje, who was falling behind by miles. First point for the blue team. So this is essentially indeed the fight between Sampi and Venture, almost. Danik B right now, the young player, most likely the youngest, question mark, that is on the field right now. Currently not representing any organization. But yeah, other than that, we still have all of these other drivers that are so experienced and so good at tech as well, being fast and consistent at the same time. Tween and Kappa, who are not going for the wallbang strategy, which I believe is a bit more risky, because the wallbang can actually throw you back by quite a little bit and make you lose a lot of speed. So that is something that these players are not opting to do. And this round is actually looking really good for them, as we have all of the Dutch players falling behind except for Wagentje, who is right now on P4. But he is not going to be able to make any sort of difference, even though he did overtake Danik B in the last turn. But it is Tween and Kappa taking first and second place. And that is already sufficient for the second consecutive point for Team Blue. Round number 3. Maybe the Dutchies haven't quite found themselves into the match so far. Maybe they need a couple rounds to warm themselves up. Zykos now, as I said, not really the greatest beginning right here. And also Wagentje completely oversteering that drift, even though it might give him a bit more speed with that wider line through that right-hand corner. He's trying to attack and gets a very weird bounce off that wallbang. Got his back tire lifted up a little bit, but he was able to keep surprisingly big amount of speed right there. Switching forward to Kappa, who's in a fight with Danik B, Tween, and Dutchy. So Dutchy, the only one for the Dutch team who is trying to make anything happen, and now he died. Danik B now with a small release, but it is the ace for the blue team. And right now it looks like the third point for them. They can take it easy in the last portion of the track. Kappa and Tween most likely on some banger times here once again. Let's take a look what they're going to clock in here at the finish line. Kappa gets a .3, Tween gets a .4, Danik B gets a .5, and that's the next ace for the Czech/Slovakian team. The first one in this match, and yeah, their fourth or fifth one in this evening, since they did play the consolidation final earlier. So here we go into the next round. 3-0 now for the Dutch team, or against the Dutch team, apologies. So they certainly need to step it up now. Maybe not their best map, we're going to find out, but that is another mistake, and I think that was, who was that? Dutchy, who went too wide and clipped the edge. Now we have the wall bang. Danik B goes out very wide again. But he's able to stabilize. That was a really wonky line by him. Almost died. Almost made contact with the wall. Kappa super close to the inside. Tween in the lead. Vaganche the only Dutchy and goes into the pole, and that's the next ace. Ooh, the pressure is really high right now for the Dutchies, I think. No round has been clean for them. And the blue team has been able to just capitalize on that so much. Even though the times are looking incredibly well on top of that. So, Tween with .30, Kappa with a 37, Danik B with a 52, sealing the deal. And the Netherlands are being annihilated right now. 4-0 already on map 1. That is unexpected to say the least. Of course, this is far from being over, but they need to get their shit together now and finally focus. The mistakes that they have done, they have all been avoidable. A lot of mistakes that were just simply unnecessary. So hopefully they're going to be able to finally come back into this match and really show what they're capable of, because this is not their actual performance. They can do so much better than that. They have gotten their way through this, or to this match, through the winner bracket, so they have not lost any match at all. So they know how to handle these situations. Just maybe a little bit of a wonky beginning. This round, however, is looking pretty two-sided for both teams. I think one of the Dutch players has fallen behind. I think it was Dutchy that made a mistake, so it's now up to Vaganche and Zykos to secure at least first and third, and that is indeed gonna be the case. So the next point for the Dutch team. Great time by Vaganche, 52-20. And this is what they need. This is the time that you need to beat the Czech players right now. This is mad. So maybe this is what's bothering them a little bit, like knowing that they need to drive almost world records to beat these players. That is maybe throwing them back a little bit. But yeah, 4-1, the first point for the Dutch team. Maybe this is the time for a comeback. Let's take a look at the next round with no one having made a mistake so far. We see 3 players going for the wallbang, 3 others are going for the normal drift. And this is actually looking good for the red team so far. It is looking very red at the front. But 2 Dutchies are making the same mistake in that little transition from straight to banked corner. And all of a sudden, this is looking good for the blue team. Only Dutchy in the lead, but also he is struggling to hit that line properly. Kappa and Danik B are closing in now. And this is very sad for the Dutch team, because this was the opportunity that they had. And they just threw it away. So this is going to be the next point for the blue team. Point 30 by Kappa. Point 305 by Dutchy. So he almost got the first place, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway. 5-1. Ay, 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 ay. The pace is there for the Dutchies, but not the consistency right now. This is what's throwing them back so much right now. Dutchy with a really wide exit. Almost made contact with the wall right there. Here we go. Danik B with the wallbang. Got it really, really nicely here. Even though Tween still having the upper hand with that drift technique. With that drift line. Which seems to be superior if you get it right. So the wallbang is slower and more inconsistent. Oh, Tween now with a wall touch on the inside. But Danik B and Kappa are backing him up really, really nicely. This is the teamwork that just makes them shine through so well. Danik B and Kappa taking first and second place. They know that their teammate fell behind, so they just step it up a little more onto the gas. And this is how they win the rounds. 52-30, 52-40. And that's just the next point. The Dutch team is just unable to make anything happen. Their times are not bad, but they're just not at the top of the food chain right now. The 51 that Vaganche and Dutchy drove are just not sufficient. They would have been sufficient against any other country, but not against Czech Republic, Slovakia. 6-1 now on the first map. And the first player is falling back, and that was a Dutch player. That was Vaganche. That is already a massive setback in the possibly last round of this match. Now it is up to Dutchy and Zykos. First and second, or first or third. Otherwise the round is lost. Zykos right now in first place. Gets attacked by his countryman Dutchy, Kappa, Tween, everyone within like 0.5. Really, really close right here. 600ths of a second between first and fifth place right now. Going to the left-hander. Danik B dead. Danik B dead. And this could be an opportunity for the Dutch team to stay alive. Dutchy in the lead. Is he gonna stay there? Or is he gonna get attacked by world champion Kappa and Tween? And there goes Dutchy into the right side of the finish. And the round has been lost that way. Dutchy threw the point away by going too wide at the end. He hit the finish block and he died. Kappa and Tween take it with pleasure. They're like, thank you very much. 7-1 on map 1. Massive. Massive. And this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt for Dutchy. Knowing that they could have stayed alive. They could have taken a very important second point. Because gotta keep in mind that this is not for map wins, but for rounds wins. So that extra point, maybe in hindsight, is gonna be important. We don't know, but that is a very unfortunate throw there by Dutchy. Our next map is not this one. Our next map is gonna be the one by Kimi. We need to go to Aurora. Thank you very much. And here we are. Welcome to WTC Aurora by Kimi. Our second map. And we're gonna enter this with a 7-1 score. So, very unexpected to say the least. Like, to just talk about the first map a little bit. A little bit of an unexpected performance by the Dutchies, because they have never really showed these weaknesses in their previous matches. Of course, they have faced weaker opponents, but they still showed much greater team performance altogether. So, this is certainly the pressure kicking in, and knowing that the Czech-Slovakian team is just so well prepared. And they have these big names as well. They have Kappa and Tween, who have been preparing really well for this match as well. And that just shows, like, their consistency is out of their mind, together with the other powerhouses in their team. Novice, Danik B, they just contributed so much to the team as well. And that's just making them unbeatable right now. That's just how it is. However, the second map can turn things around. Of course, this is the time for lineup changes for both teams. So maybe the Dutch team is actually going to be able to make something happen again and try to win some of those very important points that they need to stay alive. This is basically going to be do or die. The second map really important. If they lose too many points, it's over and out. And they're going to face the same fate like Germany in the consolidation final, where they basically lost after map 2 already because they lost too many points. The point advantage was just too big for the opponent team. So this is where they really need to step up now, and they need to win the points. Every single opportunity that they're being given needs to be taken. There's no room for error anymore, because a 7-1, a 6-point disadvantage going into map number 2 is just so much already. So we have Novice stepping in for Kappa on the second map. So we have Novice, Kappa and Danik B for this map. And on the Dutch side, we have Red Extra stepping in. Zykos remains on the track, and Complex, the current TrackMania 1 holder with a 58.12, is maybe like the key to win some rounds, because Complex is definitely one of the fastest players around right now. And he has shown that in the previous matches as well. Complex is someone that is an important link, even though he just crashed, but that doesn't matter. He is an important link to the Dutch team, and his performance is absolutely vital for them to stay alive in this match. They need to just count on his performance as well. So Red Extra, Zykos and Complex. I think for Red Extra it's going to be a little difficult to keep up with the pace of big names like Novice, Kappa, Danik B. Like, for him it's going to be difficult. So Red Extra might be one of the players that are making the decisive difference on P5 or P4, 5, 6. Something around that. For Zykos it can go either way, and then it's Complex who really needs to step it up now. The thing is, for Complex, it's his first map. So maybe he also needs 1 or 2 rounds to just accompany himself with the match, to get warm, to get comfortable. So yeah, gotta keep that in mind as well, because a cold start for everyone is difficult. So here we go with map number 2, 7-1 for Czech Republic, Slovakia. The Netherlands really need to press B for boost at this point. Here we go with Novice, Danik B, Kappa against Red Extra, Complex and Zykos. Into the first round we go. Following Kappa, 2018 world champion, who didn't practice a lot as far as I'm concerned. I've heard that Kappa and Tween both started practicing these tracks yesterday. But with the experience that they have and looking at the difficulty of the maps, which the maps aren't too difficult. So for them it was probably not too time consuming to pick up the maps and to get onto the proper level. But yeah, this round, actually going into this round, talking about this round, it is actually looking pretty good for the red team. They are occupying the first 4 positions as we speak, with Zykos, however, dropping down a lot here on that long straight. Novice is fighting with Complex for that P1 right now. Red Extra on 3rd, Danik B on 4th, and Kappa is trying to close in onto the blue part we go. The final left-hander to the left. Many people going super close to the inside. Novice touching on the inside. Kappa and Danik B need to take 1st and 2nd place, and they do so. Danik B stays 3 thousandths ahead of Red Extra, and that is going to make the decisive difference here. Very important position change here at the front. Only 300ths of a second between 1st and 3rd, and that is a great round to begin map 2 with. First point for the blue team. But this is a promising start for the Dutch team. No mistakes really happening, so they show that they have the pace. Maybe map 1 just wasn't for them. Maybe map 2 has been made for them. Let's take a look. This round is looking really good for them. Red Extra in the lead. Going through this left-hander now, with Zykos also getting very decent amount of speed up that hill. Red Extra lifting off just a tiny tad. Danik B passing, going into the hairpin. Danik B maybe a bit too wide here. Really wide line here by Danik B, but he stays alive and stays on P1. Danik B with the overtake, and Red Extra died. Complex on 2nd, Novice on 3rd. Zykos slightly having to adjust his line, coming towards the finish now. Danik B will take it here once again, 58-50. Followed by Complex, Novice, and Kappa. That's the next blue point here again. And with every point the blue team gets, the smaller the chances are for the Dutch team to win. The score is now 9-1. Following Zykos here through the first rounds, through the first turns, no one making a big mistake. So far everything is looking good and spicy. Let's take a look at Novice, who is finding himself a little further behind. Got a little bit of air and makes contact with the wall. So that is a chance for the red team. They need to take this. Danik B needs to gain some positions, and he's doing so. Danik B passes 1, passes 2, into the hairpin we go. Who's gonna get the upper hand out of this one? Danik B with insane exit speed right there. Gets it really nicely. Up to P3 he goes. And this could be the point for the blue team if the positions stay exactly like this. Complex versus Kappa. That fight for first place. That one is gonna be decisive again. Complex with the inside line. Kappa might have a little bit too shit of an angle, but it is not enough right there. Kappa remains in the lead in front of Complex. Danik B on 3rd. Red Extra on 4th. Novice on 5th, and Zykos on 6th. That's the next blue point, 3-0. And the chances are shrinking and shrinking, and those were 2 mistakes right in the beginning. Kappa full stopped into the wall. I hate this camera. Who made this? Oh, good lord. Yeah, we see Kappa that made a mistake. So Novice and Danik B need to make up for this. Right now, it is looking good. They have the first and second place. This is what they need. Red Extra is trying to deny this. Where are the other Dutchies? Zykos too far behind. Complex even further behind. This was the opportunity. And the Dutch team throws it away again. So, this is dead again. Unless something major happens in the front. Novice with more speed over the stretch. Coming closer to the Red Extra. Might go for an overtake here in the left-hander. Red Extra not getting the greatest drift right here. And that instantly gets punished by Novice, who snipes that second place. And the times were surely beatable by the players here. (4-0) on map 2. We're coming closer to the GG. Kappa avoided the wall this time around. Goes a bit wide here. Right now on last. But everyone really close to each other. Zykos making the first mistake. And this is a good opportunity for the Czech/Slovakian team to close it out. Danik B in the lead. Complex on second. Is he going to make something happen? Let's take a look at him. Complex really needs to push it now, but he clips the edge, clips the checkpoint. And that is definitely going to be an upset for the Dutch team again. Novice having to lift off there a little bit. Red Extra on third. Tries his best. Puts up a good performance. Puts up a good fight against Kappa. But it's not enough to make anything happen here. 58.398 by Danik B. Leaving Kappa 24 whole hundreds behind. And this is a 5-0 now. This is a 5-0. 12-1 in total. Let's go into the next round. Following Novice, who is in the fight for first here. Kappa really risking it for the biscuit right there. Gets a lot of speed right there. Gets attacked by Zykos, who is not able to get the greatest speed out of there. So he remains on P2, unable to come any closer to Kappa. Novice now on second place, inheriting that second place now onto the platform we go. No one making contact with the edge or the checkpoint. Hairpin. Everyone survives, and we have a very clutch fight here for the first place here between 4 players, in fact. Zykos, Danik B, Kappa, and Novice, all of the 4 players. But this is looking like another blue point right here, coming towards the ending now. Novice trying to snack Zykos here, coming into the last corner now. Zykos might have a good angle into the finish line, but he's only third. And this is going to be the next point, 6-0. And I think this is pretty much over and out at this point. Oh. What an upset by the Dutch team. This was clearly not what they expected to deliver at the end of the day in this grand final. Technically spoken, they can still win, but looking at how amazing the blue team is performing, this is just not happening. Kappa leading. Novice with a lot of speed right there, pushing himself up to first place into the left-hander. We go really close to that inside together with Kappa. They are forming 1 and 2, which is what they need to win. Wow, Novice so close to that checkpoint, almost hitting it right there and ruining his round with that. These times are going to be insane if they manage to close this one in here. Let's take a look. Kappa with the inside line. Zykos is also trying to have a saying right there. Who's going to take that first place? The last corner is going to be decisive. Who's going to get the tightest line around the left-hander and the greatest angle into the finish line? It looks like it's going to be Kappa. And we have 2.40s right here. Zykos has died just in front of the ending. Red Extra taking third. Danik B on fourth. Complex on fifth. And Czech Republic and Slovakia win the World Team Cup 2019 against Team Netherlands. What an amazing performance. That was just completely unbeatable for anyone.